All right. We are recording. We're not. I always say we are live, but obviously this is not live, so
Mhm.
we're not live, but we are recording. As you guys can see, today we have a special day. That's why the background. Yeah, today is International Women's Day, which means, of course, I have to wear these glasses. I tell you, it's all connected. It's all connected. It'll make sense somewhere in the middle. I promise. Now the mustache, though, I don't know about this, but it's there. But I was just telling the guys before we start recording that I officially can do the meme. You know, the one where you get all like blown, like your mind is blown. You remove your glasses and it's still there. Yeah, so that's pretty awesome. So yeah, guys, what meeting number is this? Number 7 or number 8? I lost track. Uh,
I think it's 8 already.
is it 8 already?
I
That is
think so. Mhm.
that. Well, that's crazy, right? It's crazy how time flies. You guys watch within a year will go by. We'll be like, meeting number, whatever it is, 54, 55. And then we won't believe it. We're like, what? And I say this
Um,
because as some of the people that watch these videos probably know, I also co-host the Hive Thrive show on Discord, and we're already a year into it. And I'm like, I remember when I was first asked, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I was hoping it was going to last a while. Now it's been more than a year, and we still got a lot of runway. So it is how these things work, especially if you're having fun. Uh, Obviously, it's been a really interesting week. These hangouts are not really about crypto prices, but it goes. I think I would do a disservice if I don't talk about it a little bit because we operate in Hive and the Hive ecosystem, and there are people wondering what the hell is going on. The truth is, I don't know what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on. We might be going to war. I think that's affecting a lot of things. The price of Hive keeps them dropping. It matters, of course. We all care, but at the same time, we're not stopping because of it. We had a very productive, successful week with Mantequilla Soft, and of course, Tibbs is going to talk about this in more in detail. But we relaunched the Three Speak website. Relaunched it because we launched it 2 months ago, and now we're relaunching it with a bunch of new
Yeah.
features. And there's more stuff in the
Mhm.
pipeline that is also being worked on, and it's going to be live very, very soon. As a matter of fact, Queso could not make the meeting. Shout out to our friend Queso. He's got some stuff going on today, but he's almost done working with the audio platform. I see him doing the tests. We had a good back and forth a couple of days ago about the flow, how to do it, how to do the feeds, and I think we have a clear idea of how it's going to work, at least at the beginning. One of the things that I don't know, and then it might be worth talking here and maybe putting it in a video so people can opine, is the need for people to come up with their own categories. I say for the MVP for the first launch of the audio platform, maybe it's not that relevant. Uh, but I do think it's needed because people might come up with their own things. It might be like, I want to do a playlist of nature sounds, for example. And there's going to be a category called nature sounds and stuff like that. So that could be something worth working on. But the first iteration of the sound platform is going to have 5 or 6 categories, with one of them being the voice messages, which are probably not going to be in any feed because I don't think it makes too much sense to have voice messages on playlist. Good morning, everybody. On a
yeah.
playlist. uh, Another thing I want to say about this, shout out to Good Karma from the SNC team. They officially integrated Snappy Audio into their front ends, so now you can listen to anything that is put on the Snappy player, which is Snappy Audio Player, which is pretty awesome. I checked it yesterday and it's working. I do want to help him. I haven't done it yet. My bad. I do want to help him out so that they can integrate, voice messages into Waves, which is their short form um, app that they have for Android and for iOS. But I haven't done it yet. And this week it looks like I haven't done much. But the truth is, I've been doing a lot of stuff for Snappy, and I guess I'll talk about it later. And the new app, which today I'm going to reveal what it is because I feel confident enough to show uh, as maybe in the next couple of days. I already talked to my brother about this. What we've been
Mhm.
working on for so long, and it's a crazy endeavor. So, anyways, as tradition goes, Eddie, you want to get started to what you've been working on this week?
Okay, so this week the main thing was to prepare for the launch of the new updates or the upgrades on TreeSpeak. So like we added so much things or so many different things on preview.freespeak.tv that we had to make a decision, but the problem was that we also added some other things on the main, so we had to figure out how to merge the branches without breaking anything. So I think we already talked about this, but what we just as a summary, what we did is we created a branch called main preview, and that we merged the changes and resolve all the conflicts. And also, what we ended up doing was that we just overwrote what we had in preview to the main. So instead of merging or making the changes on or just putting all the updates from preview to main, we just overrode it and we made sure everything was working fine. And so, something that I did is that I did a backup of the previous main on GitHub, and also
Know
we,
better.
eh?
Because we know better. We know
Yeah,
better not to make that.
and also I wrote the post with the updates. I spent some time writing that post with all the updates from you guys. And something that people might notice, I don't know if it's still somewhere in one of the services that use TreeSpeak. Now the main beneficiary of the videos is TreeSpeak font and not longer spk.beneficiary. We made that change like a few weeks ago, I think, Mena.
Yeah.
And mhm. Other than that, well, we were. I Other thing that I've been doing is that now, instead of making just a task on a spreadsheet and or sending the feedback on Discord, what we're doing it more professionally. We are doing GitHub issues directly, so they are also public and anyone can see the things that we are improving. And that way, I think we are also more organized and we don't lose all the things that. So I learned how to make proper Discord issues and how to document them. And I think sometimes I'm adding more description that it's needed, but I think it's important also to have context. And also there's a way it uses Markdown, so we are all familiar with that. There's a way to even add screenshots directly. You just copy and paste any image or upload them. It's easier just to copy and paste and upload them, and that way there's more context. And what I do is sometimes if I don't have the idea clear, I go to Cloud and I tell Cloud to organize the idea better. Cloud makes me some questions because Cloud knows that I sometimes lose focus, and he asks me some questions directly. And I like Cloud because it gives you like the normal Cloud, that I'm not talking about Cloud Code, because it gives you like options or questions, and you can select between 4 or 5 answers, and that way you can give it more context, and you can also, for example, in these issues, I can organize better my ideas and make it more clearer to you guys. So that's something that I've been working on. And other than that, we'll just approving the changes that because I run the Vercel account, I have to sometimes merge them and all that. And today we made some changes on the M variables that maybe Tifux can talk about it, because we had a bunch of M's they were redundant, and we could just put them just in one M instead of, I think we had 5 or 6 already for the different
Yeah, we
fits.
we had
Wow.
10 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just
And you,
before the call, I was doing those changes, and I think it was a bit risky, but I just updated the whole environmental variables. Hmm.
And it's working.
It is working. I made a test.
it looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's obviously we had some hiccups this week because it's normal when you make big changes. So there's been a few little buggerinos that showed up. They've been tackled. But one of the things I want to say in this video too is I want to encourage people to feel completely fine and don't be embarrassed, invited really to report issues on GitHub. So there's a few people that have replied to the post that we made from 3Speak, and even the one that I made about what we did last week. I mean this week that just passed. Uh, but by all means, if you don't know what our GitHub is, it's going to be on this post. Obviously, it's going to be in this video as well. Uh, Go there, leave an issue, make some comments, have a conversation with us. These projects are projects for the community. They're open source, and that means that it takes all of us. So you never get done hunting bugs. It's just that at some point in time, you're done. It's good enough to launch. So right now.
Hmm.
Uh, I think it's good enough, but there's already some things that we are working on. As a matter of fact, like that Eddie was saying, today even Tip Fox at 4 o'clock in the morning sent me a message because he found another bug, and that got squashed already.
Hmm.
So if you have issues you want to report, please do it on GitHub. It's the best way to do it. That way we don't have the same issue being reported over and over as well. So you can see what other people have reported. That's kind of clue. And also, if you have feature requests, you can also do it there. Uh,
Hmm.
Speaking of JZA, don't know what his
Yeah.
real name is. JZA. He really wants a breakdown of the payments. I think
Wanted.
I understand it better. Yeah,
He wanted.
he wants it.
He
Uh,
wanted. It is
We
okay.
are,
already in
Oh, it's
there.
yeah,
already there.
yeah.
Yes.
We added like the
Already done.
beneficiaries on 3Speak. Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh man, check that out. I didn't even know.
It was
When did you do this update?
it's just a few 1 hour ago, whatever.
Hmm.
When Eddie was fixing the NVARs, it was contained in this part. Yeah.
But
Done.
I
It's
think,
So we.
looking way better.
having said that, what I think he wants, but it's something that we hivers know, but maybe other people don't know. He wants to show how much, because when you see the payout of a post, you see, for example, $10. But those $10 are not for the author. They are for half of that is for the
Mm.
curators, and half of that is for the author. So I think he wants that breakdown too. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
I
Well,
Right
remember
now,
the issue now.
what we have is what we have right now is like 11%,
yeah, we have the
or like
beneficiaries.
one
Uh-huh.
percent
Yeah.
encoder, 10. Yeah,
Yeah,
beneficiaries.
we have that.
Okay.
But we need to add like a note there or somewhere that 50% is gonna be for the author and 50% is gonna be for the curators. And from the 50% of the author, the beneficiaries are taken, not from the curators. Mhm. Well, that's something that we hivers
Oh,
know
okay.
that we take for granted, maybe. But it's something that confuses the heck out of people in general when they are learning about Hive, because they say, "Hey, I'm winning $10 on my post."
Mm.
No, you're not. You're winning five.
Yeah, I've had to explain that so many times. It is confusing. It is confusing for a new user. And that being said, I think it's one of the coolest things about Hive, because in that sense, obviously, if you're a Hiver, you're listening to me right now. It's like, oh, dude, that's so everybody knows Menno. But if you're not, or you're new, that's why whales and dolphins and whatnot are incentivized to upvote good content, because they also make some back. So it's a system
Hmm.
of incentives. That's why it is like the way it is. But having transparency makes a lot of sense, I guess, more so for new users. Because new
Hmm.
users, like you said, they might be like, I don't understand. Like it said $10, and now you only got, you know, well, right now $10 is a lot of Hive. If you get $10 in a post, that's a lot of Hive right now.
It's like 160 Hive or more in
Yeah, it's
total.
pretty
Uh-huh.
crazy.
Hmm.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Um, so So that's already done. Awesome. So the other thing that we have to do, and I guess, and I'm saying we, but it can be me, it can be Eddie, it can be, is that when we fix the stuff on the projects, we should reply to whoever reported it.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to make a little promise to people regarding reporting bugs and issues and asking for features. I think we are very reciprocal as Hivians. So if you report bugs or if you report issues and you let us know, you're probably going to get upvotes. I'm not, because I mean I'm grateful for them. I
Mm-hmm.
need them. How would I know? And there are people who just have the magic hand to break stuff, and we need those guys. Eddie is one of them. Uh, because sometimes you work on a feature and it's working great because you have a particular way of using the app, but then somebody just, oh yeah, I like to triple click on here, and then I open up my thing, and then they break it, and so that's why it's needed. That's
Mm-hmm.
um, speaking of, I've heard, and this I'm just gonna throw it out there in case Tip Fox is gonna tell me he knows how to do this, but I heard that there's an AI that can do that for you, quality assurance, that it can basically click all over your app to try to break it. Have you heard of this?
No, but it's a very long tradition, so to say. So I'm working also for a software company, and we did this 10 years ago or 15 years ago. There are tools you can record the clicks with, and they can also interfere with those recordings and say, do a triple click here or just switch one pixel to the right. But it's really, really hard work. So AI would solve this hard work, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think if you have good unit tests, you can solve many, many, many issues already. We don't
I,
have.
I Yeah, I think that's one of the big areas of improvement for me. I've been kind of taking lessons from my brother regarding exactly this, and maybe it's annoying. Maybe some people could say, "Oh no, you're getting too corporate-y already." But in the corporate world, when you introduce a new feature, you make a test to go along with your feature. So, like you say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm working on I don't know, pulling all the communities from Hive and displaying them, blah blah. So you introduce that's a feature. Obviously they're tiny because you never make a gigantic link like we're doing now in one go. It's not the safest way to work. But then so you introduce that, and then you introduce test to try to validate what you did, and and then you present that as part of your pull request so that a reviewer can easily check your code and run the test. It's like, okay, here we go. It's all good. It's
Mm-hmm.
doing this thing. Okay, let me try to break it. Let me try to add something that doesn't exist. Okay, the test doesn't pass. And so we are not currently doing that. I think we should. AI tools make it easy. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I've been doing this week is exactly that, making tests for the app that I've been working with my brother. I'll talk about a little more later, because it is such a complex app, and has so many edge cases that it's impossible otherwise. But yeah, so we should start. I
Yeah,
think to
yeah,
myself, we should start making tests
yeah.
for all these things.
Thing is
Mm-hmm.
also if you could even turn this around. You can even define the test first and then code from this test. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I tried for smart contracts, for simple smart contracts, that I define what I put in and what I want to have out, and then I
Mm.
just work from there on. So you do not introduce weird errors because you accept something to happen. That's also
Oh,
something you
yeah.
could think of. But of course, in general, bigger projects, you cannot do this. You would do it the opposite way. And AI is super perfect for this. You can just
Mm-hmm.
write me unit tests for the free speak checker. For each function, at least one negative and positive test.
Yeah.
Enter. You wait for 10 minutes or whatever, and then
Yeah.
it's done. And everything you just added, Claude will then know that you have unit tests on your other functions, so it will also automatically add them. So
Mm-hmm.
the
Oh
moment you
yeah,
start with, yeah, it's
that's pretty
super
awesome.
crazy. Yeah.
But did you have to set up a skill or something for it to do that all the time, or
No,
once you did it
no,
once,
no.
it just done?
Of course, you can do the skill that's probably the more professional way,
Yeah.
but in my experience, it is just if you say develop this function like the other function, and
Yeah.
Claude sees that the other function has a unit test, then it will do it automatically.
Mm.
Skill would be better, as well as what you said in the last meeting, that you could define corporate rules and guides and whatever. Of course, that's something you can do, and new members will then be more easily onboarded. But yeah,
Yeah.
so from my
Another thing
personal
that I learned this week, and I don't know if you play with it, Tips, but have you played with MCP?
MCP,
It's
no.
it's basically it's I guess it's I don't know, somebody forgive me, I'm learning, you basically can in your GitHub account an access token
Hmm.
that you add the ability on your cloud. I'm doing it on cloud. I don't know if you can do it with other AIs. I'm sure you can. I just don't know how. You add an MCP server, I think is what it's called, to your cloud. So now, literally, what I can do, and this is what I've been doing. It's beautiful. I love it so much. I tell Claude, it's like, hey, go to pull request number 52, pull all the comments my brother made, and assess, the validity of those comments, and come up with a plan to address them. And I said, if and replies we could give. So it goes right into GitHub, pulls everything out,
Um,
makes a plan. It goes like, oh, he said this, that's correct because this, blah blah blah, and then the other one that he said this, that's incorrect. We addressed it, all the stuff, and I was like, okay, let's begin replying to the ones that don't need change. And I go, let's reply, and then okay, I'll reply this, and it'll tell me what it's gonna reply. Okay, fixed on commit, blah blah blah, and this is the function that we're doing. Like, so you obviously read it and you approve it and you send it. It saves you like an insane amount, because one of the things I don't like, I don't know what you would call it. It's like I'm gonna call it reply hunting. It's not reply hunting, but my brother will ask me something, and I did it like 4 days ago, and I don't remember what I did. I'm an idiot. So why did I do this? Okay, so then I go like, all right, let me find that function. Ah, that's right, it was this. So then I asked, Copilot, hey Copilot, I implied this thing. What were we fixing? I seriously asked this question. What were we fixing? Oh, we're fixing this and this. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what I was doing. Okay, let me reply. And that takes me, what, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of hunting, asking, learning again what it is that I was doing because I forgot.
Hmm.
This thing makes it to where in 5 minutes I'm done. It's
yeah,
beautiful. I'm done. I
yeah, sounds
replied
really
ready.
good.
Yeah.
As far as
And
I
so,
know, an MCP is like a way that AIs can connect with each other, like,
wow.
or
Okay.
that's what I know. I'm still learning also, but for example, the MCP is like the bridge between cloud and GitHub, for example. But you could add
So like
Mhm.
Claude.
others.
Okay,
That's what that's.
Yeah,
okay.
You know who knows about Enrique, who's been like studying
yeah, I
this
think it's like
stuff.
the AI,
He
MAI
he
monster.
knows,
I can
and
show you
he
guys. I can.
follows Midudev, who's a Spanish developer
Yeah.
and content creator, and he's always like Midudev is always like on top of what's trending because he's a
Yeah.
developer also, and he shares a lot of good information about it.
Oh, send me that dude's link. I'm gonna follow him too. But if you guys want to, I can show you how I did it. Well,
Hmm.
obviously not right now. We can do it after the call,
Hmm.
so you can integrate it to your flow because it's just beautiful. I'm like, Claude, pull all the comments from this, and then tell me an analysis. It's just gorgeous. I'm not copy pasting anything. It's just beautiful.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, we can
It's
we can do that a little bit later.
because
And
I've
also
also
I can
heard
show you guys
of.
what I found from badass skills that you can
Mm,
add to
okay,
your repo as well.
I've also heard of cloud co-work, but I'm still learning about it.
Hmm.
Yeah, because cloud, it seems it's a way to work easier to make it something like that you're doing, Meno. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Uh,
all right, Tibbs, you want to share what you've been working on? You have like probably the most exciting things for Hyvians right now because what you're working on, they're using.
maybe,
So,
maybe, yeah,
and
maybe. Okay, yeah. So I want to add what Eddie did testing.
Okay.
This is
Yeah.
really a really big thing you have done.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
let me show the second screen, I think. Yeah. So here is GitHub. Big props to this guy. I was really happy
Jason.
to see his. Oh, it's Jizza. Is it the
Is
G? Ah, okay, this guy. I know him
mm-hmm,
from Discord. Okay.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let us jump into what I have developed. What I thought he wants. Is this one. So you can hover over the payout. You see the beneficiaries. If you click on it, you can also click those users and then jump to the users. Same goes for the voters. Eddie found a little bug. It was hiding behind the video player. Now it's on top. You can either click it and then check who voted on your content. So this was
Awesome.
a easy thing. Let me first show the mobile UI. That was the biggest change, I think. We have
Yeah.
added a navigation
Beautiful.
bar. And if you scroll down, then normally the top thing is hiding.
Yeah.
And then I had some more ideas because I thought, okay, why not? If you click on this and then you go back, it will know that you were on this video.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
if you
noticed that.
jump right
Mm-hmm.
back, because if you click back accidentally, I think YouTube did it. I don't know if they are
Yeah.
still doing it. I didn't find it, but maybe only on the app. So I thought that's cool because you can also hit play here, and it plays the video with sound while you are still going to other videos. This one is something important. Also, of course, we don't have the sidebar anymore. So we have the upload in here. We have a profile pop-up where you can do things. And then we get to the explore page. And this is looking simple, but in here you can search for many, many things, not only authors and communities we had. Now you can also search for videos. It will suggest you users that could fit to your search term. It suggests you tags and also finds the most recent videos fitting to this input. So if I know I want to find the Mantequilla podcast or our appointments, I just search for this and okay, maybe too many videos. But I can search for this, click on the user, and then this side of the discover is filtering, or is the actual showing the results. It's hard to describe this crazy concept. Then you see users that are somehow related to this. Then you have also, if you scroll down, videos. You could also have communities. So if I want to hide the users, I just click on it, and then I have all the videos from Mantequilla. And this is sorted by relevance. That's pretty hard to understand. If you search for butter, for example, and the word butter is in the title and 10 times in the description, then the video is more on top. So it's more
Okay.
relevant. And then
Mm-hmm.
I added a boost recent function that is also adding or multiplying the relevance score if the video is recent. So the last 24 days, last 3 days, last 7 days, last 14 days, and all that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so you can find videos pretty easily. You can also find communities, of course. And this is also working on the main desktop mode. And here we have also a shortcut, slash. Isn't that cool? You just hit slash and then you can search.
Okay.
I will just, yeah. Now I will search for butter because I don't like the text. I really want butter. So I click on this and then I have basically the same kind of way. It's obviously a little bit wider. And then I can see, okay, butter. Then I can search only things in the DIY Hub community. I don't know if we have any post about butter. So let's search for paper.
How dare you not
Paper
have that?
is probably in there. And these are only posts that are in the DIY Hub community, with paper in the text, in the description, in the title, the author, whatever.
Awesome.
And if I filter for community, of course, I don't want to find users anymore or other communities. I only want to find videos, shorts, and audio. And speaking of audio and videos, we have the subtitle function, which is also working for audio in the background and for video and embed video. And with this function, we also find, we summarize the subtitles, and then we find tags in a specific list. So we have a defined list, I think, of 20 tags or something like this. And we find the most fitting tags for each piece of content. And so I could, for example, search for cooking and find videos that are about cooking, but they don't need to have the word cooking in their own titles, in the title or in in their own tags or in the title or the description, because our subtitles is also also going over it. Same goes for audio. So if we have specific predefined categories we want to put audio in, then we can just expand them, and it will work out of the box. So these automatic tags are treated with the same weight as the manual tags, I think. So if we find cooking and they said pizza, then pizza and cooking are the same, have the same weight in this search here.
And this is all the upgrades you've been doing on Pancreas, right?
Yes. So basically, I did not need to make much, because Pancreas also already have the description, the title, the text of the content. The subtitle text was something we did 2-3 weeks ago, and I had to add some indices to these fields.
Yeah.
So a description, for example, has an indice with a weight of 1, and the title has an indice with a weight of 10. And with these indices, you can do a full text search, so it's not a like search anymore. So if I search for cooking, it will not search for cooking stuff. It is a natural language kind of thing. You cannot do a wildcard. That's not working in this kind of search we are doing. That would have needed a different component, totally different component, and way more disk space. So I decided we just go with the MongoDB full text search route. And of course, I had to add some endpoints. So this suggestion, if we start searching, is one that is just using regex without any indices. And these things, when I click on it and land in those results, this is a specific search function where you can do various things.
Awesome. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. And this also fixed the uploader issue, that if you upload a video and you were not able to find a community, Aliento is one of them, that is now fixed also. And then it will say, to drop the index, create a new index. It's not a big issue, but you definitely feel it. But for the description, it's crazy. So we should never change the index of description. I did it in the night, kind of. Nobody recognized it. Because the search function was not available publicly. But now if we change it, the whole search would not work.
I don't see why we would. I mean, I guess if people are having a hard time finding content, and I have to say, this is so awesome, Tibbs. I'm very impressed, because one of the biggest flaws we have on Hive in general, so it's not a 3Speak issue, it's just Hive in general, is content discovery. And of course we have, I think it's called Hive Sense. Is it called Hive Sense or Hive? It's a I don't remember, but there's something that got launched not too long ago,
Mhm.
maybe a year and a half ago, that does, I guess, optimize the searches for like for stuff, but it's not watching videos, it's not listening to audio, it's not doing stuff. So if you're making using Hive but using ThreeSpeak and then you're supposed to Hive, your stuff was not showing up on those searches. So I think this closes the gap. This is very impressive,
Yeah.
very awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah, I'm super impressed. I think people are going
Yeah.
to be blown away with this.
Also, we have an advantage, of course, because we only care for video content. So we only care for content that is in our collections. So we have way less stuff we need to recognize.
Yeah.
I also remember Louis88 created something like the keyword fetcher, I think it's called. It is
Mm,
kind of a search, also a full text search over the have SQL connection. So it could take very, very long
yeah.
because it's just too much content. But yeah, it's working pretty fast. I had to tweak some things here and there, and Claude helped a lot. But I think I'm also really, really satisfied.
A question I want to pose to you, Tibbs, and this is something, obviously I'm just putting it here, but we don't have to decide anything right now. We have our database is running on Mongo, as you know. And we have, I think, 3 replicas, like a main
Mhm.
database, and then and I do you think we need more because of all these new things that we're adding?
I don't
Because
know.
we could.
Do we have those replicas just for security, for safety, or
Uh,
is it for
funny enough,
performance?
well, funny enough, we are only connecting to a replica on of our apps, not the main server, which I don't know why that's how we're doing it. But it was done with the idea of having a backup in case something bad happens. Now,
Hmm.
Yeah.
that said, I am told by the GPTs of the world it's a good way also to deal with the load, especially if the
Yeah.
app gets more use. So like we could technically come up with a plan and be like, okay, all these pancreas will use exclusively this replica, for example, and then nothing point nothing else to it, just
Hmm.
that. But for these other functions, then we're going to use this the main one, or etc. We just distributing the
Could
load.
be.
Uh, I don't know. I mean that's
Sounds
what
definitely.
GPT says. It could be delusional.
We have
No, it sounds definitely reasonable. Yeah.
to check to check it and decide because one of the replicas, if not, it's a small, it's very small server. So we have to decide. Maybe it all this information it's text, right? So it may not be a lot of information, but it may outgrow the capacity of the server. So we have to check that,
Yeah,
I think.
it is definitely something, especially now that we have those indices, because they also require a lot of storage.
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
they index basically where the word butter is in which document is the word butter. So it's a lot of space we now have more by this. But I mean, I know it from the MS SQL environment. There, it is definitely something for failover. So if one server is down for some
Hmm.
reason, you can still connect to the other. But if we restrict our apps to use specific replicas, we would not solve this. We would only
Yeah.
solve the balance, the load balance.
Hmm.
I hear you.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Well, we can discuss the infra some other time, but I do
yeah,
also feel that that little server that we have, which might be the main server. I'm not even sure. Like Eddie, right? Is it the main
uh,
server? I
I am not
I think
sure
that's what.
because I always get confused which is the main one and which is the secondary one,
Yeah.
but we can definitely check.
We
Hmm.
pay like 20 bucks or something like that for that server. I think we can get something better for those $20.
Hmm.
So put $5 on top and get a nice VPS so we can add more things to it. So
Hmm.
yeah,
we,
Or improve
it's
one of the ones that we already have. Just improve it, maybe, or upgrade
yeah,
it. I mean.
that too.
Hmm.
That's a complete possibility. Upgrade a current VPS. Um, if because I think you get more bang for your buck that way, right? I don't know how much the price difference is now. That being said, we are still not abusing our servers. Like I always do, I'm always doing boot tops. I'm always looking at performance, and they look fine. It's
Hmm.
not. It's never been a time where I'm like, oh my god, it's getting slammed.
Yeah.
But it could
Hmm.
happen in the future.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely get more bang for the buck because now your current servers are operating on old hardware, and if you buy it or if you register a new server, they only give you new hardware for the same amount of money. So it's
Hmm.
always
That's
better. But you
very
have
true.
the crazy maintenance stuff, so you have to copy the whole MongoDB stuff. So it could be a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, very
I
true.
I want to share one more thing, because the Shorts editor got some new fonts, and this is important. I have fixed a bug in the mobile version of this. That's why I registered. Uh, Previously, you had Arial, Trebuchet, so these common default Word fonts, and now we have Google fonts. And that's why we now can have way more, and both the backend and the front end will support them. And for example, I really like this one, the Mr.
Okay.
Beast font.
Mr.
and
Beast.
and for this, I also added a background box now. So normally you have it like, and no, I don't have a video file here, but normally you have like a background box with a border, and it's
Nice.
like this, and maybe the background is whatever, I don't know, red or something like this. So it looks pretty cool, and in the render it looks the same but not identical. So because we have two different ways of stitching the things together, um, it is a little bit different. But
Mm.
yeah, now we have this. So that was pretty important. I don't think we have more. We have a add color, but that's not important. And of course, yeah, we also, I think Eddie also installed the gateway now, right? So this week or last week, I think we didn't
Mhm.
talked about it. So the editor is hosted on Eddie's server.
Oh yeah.
It's not on mine anymore, but on mine as a backend, on Eddie's server as a backend, on Eddie's server is a gateway and the front end. So
Any
it's
server is pretty strong.
decentralized.
I think it can handle it.
It can handle easily like 10 of those rendering things, because they don't do, who is using it? Only if you want to upload a short. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
each backend can handle 2 concurrent jobs. So if we have 4 people at the same time using the editors, we would run out of backends.
Now, what happens in that scenario? Would the user be alerted? It's like, hey, come back later. What
I
happens?
I think you will see a red warning here that the backend is not available. I
Mm,
had
okay.
this in the past. It's not really user friendly, but you will see something before you edit here.
This would be amazing to do. I mean, I don't know exactly how it could be done, but it would be amazing to have a queue, so to speak. So like if you are,
Yeah,
if
that's
you're like,
it was the
Okay.
original design. It was the original design that the backend is only doing the rendering, but
Mhm.
now the backend is also doing if you upload something. So if I select a file, let me find one. Yeah, let's just pick an image. Then it is uploading it to the backend. The backend
Uh-huh.
is encoding the size to 480p, so you can still be able so you will still be able to play it back, because 1080p videos in this technology here is nothing normal workstation can handle. That's why the backend is encoding it down to 480, sending it back to the front end, so the user actually can work with it.
Yeah, but that's something I actually learned from using Kden Live, is that high quality video, most computers cannot handle. Most like computers, I would say like consumer level stuff. Obviously, if you have a monster PC, that's fine. So
Yeah.
they use something called I think
Proxy.
called proxy videos, right? So
Hmm.
they create a video so that you can edit, cut, and all the stuff, and it just has all the information about, the I guess the changes that you're making, and then but when you render, it actually uses the real files, so it just
Hmm.
allows you to interact with it. So that would be the way to do it, I guess, if we wanted to have a full editor on. But I think that's overkill for our purposes. But
But it is
uh,
like this. It is like this. Only the last step that we use also the 480p version in the backend is
mm,
right now is set in stone. But if we later decide we want to have a pro version, whatever, then we can enable people to render out 1080p videos. But we need to test this
yeah,
again because of the pixel whatever effects. I had issues with text. You cannot believe it. It's crazy.
oh yeah,
What can happen if you have two different renderings? So I have this text enter text here in the center of this box. Then it's sending it to the backend. The backend cannot generate such a box just by default. So the backend is doing an SVG file, then rendering it to the PNG. So it puts it in there. Then it does the text stuff the same way. So you have two PNGs and they have to be on top of each other. And then it needs to calculate how the padding is from the top. And it's just crazy. Cannot believe this. But it's working. So, and it's reasonable fast also.
wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
You, Mela, you look
This
you
was
look like my dad with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
okay. So
it's amazing.
let me
Yeah. Uh-huh.
quickly check if I have something more.
Oh
The
yeah, you can
authors,
talk
yeah,
about this.
we did some NSFW filtering in the
Hmm.
backend. We have a administration dashboard where we can set NSFW videos, but also we take in account people who upload their videos and add the tag themselves,
Hmm.
and we hide it by default. But everything is also already prepared from the backend side that we have a checkbox in the 3Speak website itself in the user
Hmm.
settings. But that's something I think because user settings, we have a lot of things hard coded in 3Speak, so we could add a lot of user settings for it. Should the sidebar be compact? Should the video start automatically? Should
Okay.
whatever, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah,
So we should have a really good dashboard for these settings. But then you can just switch a switch
Uh,
and also see porn if you
and
want.
and maybe later on that user dashboard or settings dashboard, they can decide if they want to be a pro user.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
they want to pay for the pro version of 3Speak or the VIP version of 3Speak.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, the don't say the p word because YouTube might ban the video anymore. But
I
you can
said
use it. You can
corn.
say, yeah, you can say corn. Say corn.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But now that being said, one of the things that happened this week, which is why this got rushed, is not rushed. This got added to as a feature, is we had a user uploading some. It wasn't straight out corn, but it was sensual, and it reminded me how back in the day, in the Steam days, we actually had a corn star also as part of the community. And I'm like, I'm all for it because, we talk about freedom. We talk about like, oh, you do whatever you want and all this stuff. But at the same time, you want to make sure that people have the choice. So some people might want to see this stuff. Some people don't. And I think it's very important that you make it available for whoever wants to see it or
In
not.
some
Like
places,
I'm
it's
not going to,
actually illegal, right? In some places, in some countries.
Yeah, in
yeah,
Japan, yeah,
exactly.
you're right. Yeah, or at my
Yeah,
office, of course. At
of
home,
course.
I
Of
want
course.
to watch it, and in my office, I don't want to watch it. Or in the bus, it's also
Yeah.
Yeah.
crazy if you go in the bus and you are in shorts and something
In that
pops
sense,
up.
I think we can rip a page off Twitter. Twitter doesn't ban it, and it's supposed to be a freedom of speech platform, right? But they, if you want to see it, you have to go into settings and put, yeah, I want to see NS,
Mm,
and then that's it. It starts to show up.
yeah.
That's how
So I
PicD
think,
does it. Actually, PicD, if you have
Mm,
a post in like NSFW and you're not logged in, the post is hidden. You have to log in
okay.
and enable them. That's how Piggy
Makes
does
Yeah.
it.
we
Mhm.
should do this exact same thing. Exact same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
Um, now that being said, I maybe I'm gonna get some pushback from this on Snappy though. I'm not allowing it, and that's because that is because I don't have a way to filter currently. So I have to come up with a back end that you can tag snaps that are, and I don't have that yet. So that user, the one that did this, I just sadly I had to make her not show up anymore because I don't
Mhm.
have a way to filter. So like it's one of those things. Again,
Yeah.
you were talking about breaking apps. I was not ready for this. So
Mhm.
the user posted a video, uh, and it almost looked like a solicitation video, to be honest. Um, and I'm like, okay. And then a user replied, said, "Hey, this is blockchain." And obviously, I think the user was wrong. Yeah, blockchain's freedom, so you can do whatever you want. But I don't want to get my app pulled from the Apple Store because
Yeah.
so I just hid it for now. But I have to. This is on my to do list. Well, I guess I'll share with you guys what I've been working on because
Mhm.
I've been working mainly on two apps. So I've been working on Snappy, uh, maybe 30% of the time, and then 70% of the time I'm working on the app that I've been working on with my brother for 7 months now. I think the guys know. I haven't said it in the video, so I'm going to say it today. I already talked to my brother about this, so I'm not being crazy. We began working about 7 months ago, almost 8 months ago, on our own uh, ride sharing application. This some people have said that this idea has been shared 1,000 times, so it's not like a oh my god, why didn't anybody think of it? People have thought of it. It's just a monster of a task to do, and we began about 7 8 months ago, and the challenge is to build the ride sharing. If you don't know what ride sharing is like Uber, right?
Mhm.
Or Lyft, one of those. You don't know what that entails. You might be forgiven for thinking, oh, you can probably do it in a week, because it sounds like it. You're like, oh, I can do it in a week. But then you begin to break it down to all these components, right? You begin to break it down into where, okay, so you have to have a list of drivers, you have to have a list of users. How do you vet drivers? How do you qualify them? How do you do geo searches so that when people request a ride, it doesn't go to everywhere in the world, but it goes to drivers that are available. So you got to keep track of who is where at what point in time and how they report the location and how they're moving. You have to then connect maps so that as people are driving about and all this stuff, all these things are recorded. It just gets crazy. As Matt likes to say, it grew arms and legs because we had like a proof of concept running within 1 week, and I said to my brother, "This is cake. We can do it. We're going to be 8 months in, still not done." But we have right now, as of 2 days ago, 3 days ago, what's called a full working happy path. It means that if you don't do crazy stuff like Eddie, you don't click weird places, you can request a car, they'll pick you up, you pay. And one of the things also that we struggle to integrate, and I think we got it now, is a flexible payment system so that you can not only pay with HBD or Hive, which is the default obviously, but maybe get to pay uh, with other cryptos. So like you can pay with USDT or you can pay with Solana and what have you. So we're working on a bridge also for that because we can't assume everybody is going to use HBD to pay. So
Mhm.
again, this thing just grew arms and legs. Uh, I'm probably going to be moving the repos this week with my brother to Mantequilla, so you guys can take a look at what we've been doing. I think you're going to be impressed. The aesthetics of the app is not great currently, uh, but that's because we've been just working on making it functional. And my wife this week started to give me some ideas of how we can make it look, and also the name because we're using Hive Taxi as a name. It's not a great name. It's not.
Yeah.
Uh,
Remove Hive and
yeah,
maybe also the taxi. Yeah.
yeah. It's not a great name. So, but if you've seen my account, my test accounts making these weird little posts and stuff, it's because of that. Because I am testing, the flow. I'm testing requesting a driver. I'm testing, denying that the guy doesn't want the driver. And one of the biggest challenges also that I think we got something now is how do you make it safe, right? Because you don't KYC on Hive, so like anybody could grab the app, uh, download it, and say, oh, okay, I'm a driver now, and then that person might be have bad intentions, like go out and rob or worse, right? So how do you make it safe? And one of the things that we've come up with is we're kind of restricting the drivers to have a role inside a community, and the idea is that we're going to have communities that are uh, ran by trusted community members. And the trusted community member is the only one that can upgrade a user to a driver role, which means that uh, only then that driver would show up in searches for ride requests. That would fall 100% on the head of the person that approved the driver. And what we are thinking, okay, this is what I'm thinking, is that we can maybe at the beginning go to uh, small companies, that have taxi fleets or tuk-tuks for that matter, and be like, hey, here's you can use this app and all this stuff, and have them create a community. So let's say that in Tifox Town, there's a tuk-tuk company that has like 50 units, right? And so then we'll go to that, create the Tipfox community taxi, and only Tipfox and the community, I mean the admin of the actual tuk-tuk or owner can upgrade people to okay, you're the driver, here's your account, here now you have a role of a driver. So now when you put yourself online, you actually show up online and people can request the drive and all this stuff. Um, and that way, if something happens, also the user can go knows who to contact, and it's like, hey, such and such driver stole my cell phone. Sadly, I'm saying that thing, and I'm like, oh, like that sounds horrible, like I'm being judgmental, but it's a reality in countries like the one where I live now. Um, so and then we don't have to KYC. Obviously, there's going to have to be somebody who's in charge of it and all stuff. And the other challenge of making this app, which is something I never imagined when we began, is how do you make an Uber clone, right? That you don't have to register at all as a company, because the problem is when you create something like this, you have to register yourself as a company that handles cash, like because you're basically what's called a payment processor at that point. We don't want this, because if we do this, then we create a weak point where a country's regulation can be like, oh, close that dude down. He's doing functions and all that stuff, whatever, and then that stuff. So the idea of this is making it decentralized. So it's just peer to peer. It's just people saying, yeah, I take a ride, I pay. I could pay in cash. I could pay in crypto. I could pay whatever I want, and not a single cent goes to the creators of the app. And you might say, like, oh, you're insane, man. Like you worked on this thing for 8 months, you're not going to make a penny. Well, I have an idea. This is an idea that I came up with my brother to more or less fund this, and we'll see if it works out. I don't know, but the idea would be that all the rides, all the shifts for the drivers, all of them. So when you're a driver and you check in to work, will be posts on Hive, right? And all the rides are replies to said check-in posts. And that's how you qualify the driver. You reply to the driver, 5 stars, 1 star, and all this stuff. And the driver can also qualify the riders, the passengers, 1 star to 5 star, and all this stuff. And leave comments and all this stuff. All that information we'll be able to use to create profiles, so that okay, this driver is good, has average and all this stuff. See how it's growing legs? It got crazy. But also we will get beneficiaries as the operators of the app from all of those posts, and that's it. We're going to get beneficiaries. And somebody might say, okay, so how is this going to help Hive? The idea that we have, well, first of all, we're doing this, to quote Linux Torvalds, because F you. That's why. To Uber, Lyft, that's why. But number two, why, how we think this could be financially sustainable is like if we pay a little extra to people that curate both check-ins and rides, maybe making it to where we grab a small percentage, 2 or 3%, and store that for curators and send. On top of the 50% they get a little 2 or 3% back. That then I have an extra incentive for them to come curate these rides and these verified transactions that are happening on our blockchain, which gives it, in my opinion, awesome utility. Because you could have a solid record of real humans creating an economy on the blockchain. But on top of that, the idea would be that it would create demand for Hive. And you say, well, how would it create demand for Hive? Okay, this is speculative, I guess you could say. Speculative. I can't speak. I don't know why. The idea would be that if you're a driver, you could say, hey, you know how I get more passengers? If I grow my account, because that way when I give them reviews back, they get back 10 cents, 15 cents and all this stuff. So I'm going to grow my account. So I can give cash back to my clients when they go with me. You see what I mean? The same thing would be the passengers. So it'll be like, well, if I grow my account, then I can give nice tips to the taxis and when I use them. And also I get discounts as I use the app, because I paid $30 for a ride, but then I leave a review. The taxi driver gets 10 cents from me, and then he gives me a review back, and I get another 10 cents, and then people vote on it, and then the drive that was $3, I spend now $2.50 or $2. So it works for me. It's way cheaper than using a regular taxi. So am I going to use a regular taxi? No. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy HBD from the market. So go any store, anybody sells HBD, and have HBD on my wallet so I can take drives like this. I can take taxi cabs using our Hive, Lyft, Uber / whatever clone. My transportation is cheaper. You create demand for Hive and you create demand for HBD. That's the idea, and of course that increases the price of Hive. That's the plan. Is this going to work? I have no idea, but we're doing it. As a matter of fact, 4 months ago now, a guy from a university, I don't remember his name, but he's friends with Matt, told Matt, though he thinks that one of the most disruptive things that could come out in the world would be to make ride sharing decentralized. And we got in a chat, and I don't know what university, some guy high up there in the university. And Matt told him that I was working on it. And the guy said like, oh man, I was like, please tell me when you're done. So I'm talking about going to this university and presenting it when I'm done, which would be insane. If
Is it
and now we're
Dr.
almost there.
Trust? Dr. Trust?
That could be. I have
Dr.
it in the chat.
Trust? Trust products?
It could be. I
Mhm.
owe you that one. But
Okay.
I think this could be like a potentially a breakout app for Hive, because you don't really need to. First of all, you don't really need to know that it's working on Hive to use it. You could literally use it with cash if you wanted to. You can pay with cash, and
Mhm.
it's built on top of Hive. But I don't know what else is the most common experience than transportation in the world. Like everybody takes, and every country they use taxis or Ubers. That's why those companies became so huge. But also those companies have like horrible, in my opinion, predatory practices, and most of the drivers get screwed because they take gigantic chunks of their rides and change policies because they want to. And they're like, oh no, yeah, we're changing. That's it. And now
Mhm.
it's coming to the point, at least in the U.S., where riding on Uber is not. It's just not worth it. Like for most people, they go like, "Oh, if I take an Uber from the airport to my brother's house, it'll be like $40, which is insane." I think, oh, is the driver making a lot of money? No, they're getting $18 out of it. So it's something stupid like
Mhm.
that. You're like, what? Yeah.
Here
Yeah.
in
So
Mexico, also the quality of the service, I guess in the US, the same. Has before they gave you water, they asked you if you wanted to plug your music, but now it's getting lower and lower and lower the quality of the service. Also because I mean,
getting
less.
getting less and less, and I feel like the sentiment is very negative. I think the iron is kind of hot, and we should try. Uh, but challenge, and this is how it got out of hand is